Still, I'll just shut up. Okay. I'll make you so bloody sick. Okay.
So far-right political populist groups, street thugs, activists, all sorts, are being empowered, and their ideology is becoming quite mainstream here now. We're seeing Reform UK on the news. They're being spoken about daily as a party of power, possibly in the next general election. Tommy Robinson and all these, his ilk, are brought back on social media. They're going viral on Twitter all the time.
Elon Musk retweeting far-right nationalists in a systematic way.
Groups like Britain First staging protests which are attracting significant numbers of people, some thousands in Manchester and London.
UKIP as
on
well.
Regular space.
Yeah.
So the far right is on the rise in Britain, and it's marching for power, and it's lashing out as well. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to another episode of Muslims Uncensored with me, Robert Carter, and Roshan and Rob. Now, we have a lot to discuss today. There is, of course, been quite a large break since our last show, so we have some catching up to do. But we do have some good news to start off with. We have a brand new member of staff who joined a while ago, Roshan. And I have to say, he's impressed me so far. I'm happy with the appointment, so you can put that in your little notebook. Robert Carter's satisfied with your work so far.
That's not what you said to me, you know, the other day.
First joined? Oh God, it's
I'm
all
joking,
coming out now.
I'm joking.
We are uncensored here, but no, not at all. I'm very happy and impressed with his work, and pretty happy to bring him on first of all. We are in a new studio, so perhaps we could mention that. We haven't changed location. We're actually in the same place, but we've moved. We've upgraded a little bit, which is all part of what we were trying to do here at Five Pillars.
So what do you think of the studio, brothers and sisters? Just let us know. We're not sure whether this is going to be a temporary studio or a permanent studio. Tell us if you like it or not. I actually quite like it, to be honest. And I'm a bit lazy, so I'm thinking of making this a permanent studio, maybe with a few more Islamic bells and whistles. But tell us what you think, inshallah.
Yeah, exactly. So, we've got a new studio, some new staff members that we're going to introduce. So let me bring on dear brother Alan now. I think why leave the audience waiting, right? Assalamu alaikum, Alan. Welcome to the program.
Oh, he's on mute. Have a good start.
There we go.
There you are.
Robert. Thank you.
He's our social media manager as well. He can't even unmute himself.
Yeah. Have you ever used Zoom before? Is it new to you?
No, it's not new.
Well, like I say, brother, just introduce yourself. This is Alan, to everyone who has met him for the first time. You may have seen him on some of our social media videos recently. He's our new social media expert.
Social media manager, I guess.
Social media manager, yeah.
Journalist as well. So take it away, Alan, because obviously you've been appearing on, you know, Facebook posts and social media posts and a few reports. So I think people would have seen your face, but not necessarily know who you are. So you're our newest addition, member of staff. Welcome to the Five Pillars family. Take it away. So Alan Bashic, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Who are you?
Correct. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So as Roshan said, my name is Alan Bashic. I'm 22 years old from London. Just joined about 2 months ago. So I guess I'm still getting to know everyone and their personalities and whatnot. But alhamdulillah, it's been very good so far. I'm basically just managing the social media presence. So you might have seen kind of a change in our style of posts or frequency and whatnot. So that's pretty much been me behind it. I'm also kind of dabbling in journalism side of things, but my main role is the social media stuff.
And Bashic, what is that? What background is that?
Yeah, so when people see that name, Alan Bashic, of course it's spelled basic, so people just see Alan Basic. They think I'm just an English one, let's say. But yeah, originally I'm from Bosnia, in the Balkans. So yeah, white European Muslims, let's say. But yeah, that's my background. But born and raised in London, nonetheless.
But the language that you speak at home is Bosnian, right?
Yeah, so half. I don't usually lead with this, but my mother's from Italy, so kind of a bit of a mix. So I also speak Italian as well.
Oh wow!
Let's say. I usually just say I'm Bosnian because that's more what I identify with.
Yeah, and so tell us what your mission is at Five Pillars. What are you here to do?
Well, I mean, I've actually had my eye on Five Pillars for a long time. And I think at first it was earlier this year, probably around February, January time. I was living in Istanbul.
Okay.
I was really just trying to get figure out some way that I can get into this space, the journalism space, the broader journalism space. I mean, I had a background in social media stuff and copywriting and whatnot, but yeah, I had my eyes on Five Pillars. I really wanted to join a Muslim organization. You know, I think what Five Pillars is doing is mashallah, it's amazing. I can really see that, you know, the pure intentions behind, you know, having been behind the scenes kind of working with these guys, I can see the pure intentions they have for kind of spreading quality journalism, but from a Muslim perspective. And yeah, honestly, I'm very grateful to be part of the team. Alhamdulillah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background in terms of your education and work experience? You said you were living in Istanbul. What were you doing there?
Yeah, so I'm actually currently a final year master's student in University of Edinburgh. So I'm between London and Edinburgh at the moment, studying Islamic studies, but specifically I focus on history, so Islamic history. And within that, my kind of field of research is Ottoman history, looking at the various different genocides that have happened in the Balkans from as far back as, you know, the 19th century all the way through to the present. So a lot of like research around genocide stuff, genocide scholarship and history. So that's kind of, let's say, one of my main passions on top of journalism and writing and being involved with these things.
Okay, well, from my perspective as the editor, I can say you made a good start. Alhamdulillah, you made a really good start, Alan. I think we've noticed the difference in, you know, as you say, the frequency of our posts, but the quality of our graphics and everything. I really think you've helped boost our social media. Long may that continue, inshallah. Any questions, Robert?
Inshallah. No, I know it's very difficult to work with Roshan. Five Pillars is very demanding as well. It burdens, especially its white members of staff, I find. So it's good that we have...
I'm just getting revenge on the British Empire, do you know what I mean?
Yes, Roshan's got a lot of issues. He's half white himself, so I think he takes it out. He has some self-hating issue. But no, it's good that we've got some more white Muslim members of staff, I find. So yeah, I'm going to take this down race lines.
Bosnia is really white. I mean, the kind of... It's Slavic, right? You're Slavic. Is that white? It's not... Yeah. It's not Anglo-Saxon white, is it? You know,
they're not Anglo-Saxon, yeah.
But I'd say we're white. Like, we're white. Different culture, but white.
Yeah, the color of your skin, but you're Slavic white. You're not Anglo-Saxon white.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the takeaway.
It's the Anglo-Saxons I have the issue with, not the Slavs.
White is right, as far as I'm concerned. That's my outlook on life. White is right. But anyway, let's not talk about race anymore. It's a pleasure to have you here, and yeah, I've enjoyed my time with you. And let's see how we go.
Yeah, so we'll see a lot more, brothers and sisters. We'll see a lot more of Alan. You know, as the months and years, inshallah, pass. So we just wanted to introduce him to you, and that's what we've done. All right.
Salam. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum, Alan. See you later.
So that's our new member of staff. You've got the new studio, and that, I guess, is where the good news ends for the time being. Things are pretty bleak here in the UK, I have to say. There's been a noticeable rise in Islamophobic hate. A toxic atmosphere is bubbling possibly over soon. We've already had summer riots in 2024 where people were attempting to burn down hotels, attack mosques, and this summer again has been pretty ugly. Again, more protests outside of hotels, anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim sentiment, mosques being attacked across the country, almost I mean, we narrowly avoided a major attack on a mosque in Scotland, which would have reminded many people of Christchurch if it had succeeded. It was literally a far-right guy who was trying to burn Muslims in a mosque, and there was a whole bunch of them that would have been trapped in there, and he was armed with a flamethrower, makeshift flamethrower. It was horrific, hardly reported on. Luckily the police caught the guy, but there are many incidences going viral online where either Muslims are filming the hate they're receiving from just random people in the street, in parks, outside hotels, on the beach, or it's the Islamophobes themselves filming Muslims
in a perverted way, quite frankly.
Perverted way. Yeah. So I'll play out a few prominent examples that have gone viral recently. We have this man here, an elderly chap who was in Leicester, and he just started abusing an Asian couple for some reason. I'll play it out now.
Yeah, should have been shot.
Oh, is this a racism thing?
Should. Bloody Asian.
Oh, bloody Asian. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
white people are committing crimes. There's more Asians who commit crimes than white people. White people have got a lot more sense than you people.
Oh, do they?
Oh, my God, why? Because a lot of you are stupid.
What? How?
Wow.
Why are white people that? Why is that?
White people are better than you.
Why?
Because they're more intelligent.
Oh, wow.
So that's just a short clip. He goes on and on and on, even confessing to being a racist against Asians. We have another delightful British couple here in a park, I think, attacking I think it's an NHS nurse from the Philippines originally.
Yeah.
They physically assault her.
Yeah, what? You can't even speak English. And as for you, being
You can't
a
even understand
healthcare assistant,
English.
do you know what you are? That is what we call slavery. Because people like you are the only people that will help. You are, and I'm going to get you, and I'm going to make you really know you are in trouble, believe you me. Did you get that? Did you get that? Did you get that? Yes, if you're a healthcare person.
Well, I used to, but you know what?
I'm an
I
SRN.
used to.
Right above
I
you.
used to.
Now, just shut up.
Okay.
I'll make you so bloody sick.
So there you go. I shouldn't laugh really because they're literally physically assaulting an NHS worker. But these people are absolutely crazy and they're really pushing
we
the
can
limit.
play out several. Well, here's another one.
This one's another really scary one. A drunk guy with a knife waving it around in a threatening way at Muslims outside a mosque, I think. Was it a mosque?
Portsmouth, yeah.
Take the knife from him, he will hit him.
And in case you didn't hear it there, he's saying, what have we got to do to protect our children? So this is happening, this rise in attacks and abuse of Muslims on Britain's streets, amid a far-right insurgency, really, in this country. So far-right political populist groups, street thugs, activists, all sorts, are being empowered, and their ideology is becoming quite mainstream here now. We're seeing Reform UK on the news. They're being spoken about daily as a party of power, possibly in the next general election. Tommy Robinson and all these, his ilk, are brought back on social media. They're going viral on Twitter all the time.
Elon Musk retweeting far-right nationalists in a
Absolutely.
systematic way, including Tommy Robinson, Steve Laws, many others.
And obviously groups like Britain First, staging protests which are attracting significant numbers of people, some thousands in Manchester and London,
UKIP as
on
well.
a regular space.
Yeah.
So the far right is on the rise in Britain, and it's
No doubt
marching
about
for
it.
power, and it's lashing out as well. This is not just a kind of polished Reform UK men in suits talking about immigration. This is people on the streets attacking.
It's
and
back to the
threatening attack.
1980s, Robert, when, there was also there's crosses being daubed on mosques. There was a bus stop daubed with F Packies up north somewhere. I mean, we're going back to the 1980s when racism was overt. All the 40 years of the rights that we have gained, seem to have been washed away in the last few years amid this Reform UK, GB News, Talk TV, Tommy Robinson tidal wave, quite frankly. And they're targeting Muslims. We are in their crosshairs, and they are targeting immigrants. So it's an Islamophobic and racist movement. And they can't be reasoned with as well. They have a mission to destroy us. And nothing we say or don't say is going to appease them. That's what we're facing at the moment.
Yeah, and they're finding new ways to sort of get their agenda ahead, but make themselves look like the victim. There's a Raise the Flag campaign, which is underway, and that's been hitting the news over the past week or two. And again, it's about, apparently, patriots, oppressed natives of this country raising the flag and then being persecuted by the state. So police and councils are having them removed from lampposts and government buildings as if that's some kind of injustice.
Yeah.
When in reality, this is a kind of far-right instigated mission, really. It's like it's a non-issue. And the far right are using it as an opportunity to peddle their propaganda to further the idea that they are oppressed, that minorities are somehow in charge of things here, and that the government is in cahoots with like Islamists to take over this country and oppress white people. That's the argument, and this flag takedown thing, flag row, is feeding into that. So it's their latest propaganda campaign, but there are many campaigns underway. They're calling all Muslims and Pakistanis groomers, when in reality most groomers are white in this country because it's a white majority country. They're saying things in the past like there's Muslim no-go areas in Birmingham, which of course is factually untrue. So all sorts of conspiracies are becoming normalized now, and the victim are the Muslims and minorities and the immigrants, refugees included, who are being dehumanized to such a point where you now see people pulling out knives saying, I need to protect my kids, and flashing it at a Muslim.
The flag thing, I mean, wherever you go, I mean, I was driving into work today, and on a motorway kind of bridge, I saw British flags.
I saw a lot.
Yeah, so it's a systematic. I mean, look, I just spent a week in Turkey, and, you know, they're flying the flags. Wherever I go in the world, you know, I see flags being paraded in every single country, to be honest. So in reality, there shouldn't be anything wrong with parading a British flag in public spaces. Despite the obvious connotations with colonial history, which, you know, a lot of immigrants feel uncomfortable about because we were the victims of that. The fact is that every country in the world parades their flag in public spaces. So on the one hand, there should be nothing wrong with that. However, it's clearly being weaponized against immigrants and Muslims. And I mean, when it was daubed on a Chinese takeaway somewhere the other day, I mean, when that happens, the message is clear. It's go home, you know, Chinese go home, or
and on mosques,
etc. So this is being used to intimidate now. And I think it's pretty obvious we know that. I mean, there was a mosque in Liverpool which had a flag put just outside it, and then they put it on the mosque itself. I mean, I don't know what you think of that. I think that's going too far, personally. I don't think we should be forced to kind of prove our loyalty to this country, you know, whereas others aren't. So I personally, I know that was actually quite a popular move that mosque did, reclaiming the flag, etc. But I don't think we should be forced to, you know, parade the British flag. This is not in the tradition of this country. We're not flag humpers, as you call them. You know, that's not in the tradition of, whether it's Muslim or non-Muslim. Britons just don't do that. We don't feel a need to parade our identity, you know, left, right and centre 24/7. And I don't think mosques should feel the need to parade the British flag, you know, hoist it forward just to say that we're loyal to this country. No. And especially given other groups, you know, don't have to do that either. Yeah. So I think that's going too far. But at the same time, you know, the British flag has become the domain of racists, hasn't it? It shouldn't be that way, but it has.
Yeah, I think, obviously, again, it's one of these issues that the far right are picking up on and are peddling and pushing out there, that Muslims have some issue with the flag. Even Nigel Farage has said that there are Muslims who have an issue with British culture. And it's not based on any kind of issue with the empire. It's based on they're just aliens who are not integrating. They pose some kind of threat. They want to kind of ruin this country or something like that. The reality is, most Muslims that I've ever met, they really do not have an issue with the flag, frankly speaking.
No, not really.
I know that
a lot of them are very pro-flag,
yeah, exactly. They just don't care. It's just not an issue. They'll fly it sometimes, like this mosque did. They just don't care about it. It's not something that they're against. No. In fact, they'll probably be pro-flag if asked about it. And it's just, this is what really upsets me about all this, is that Muslims are just good, ordinary people by and large. They'll smile at you in the street. They're the most charitable minority community that we have in this country. They uplift, they're very good at business, like Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, they're known for setting up businesses, employing people.
Spirit,
they're very entrepreneurial. So to see them treated in this way, like they're all a bunch of criminals, they're all a bunch of savages, is really heartbreaking, especially because I actually know Muslims, you know, I hang out with them, bother to speak to them. All the people that are treating them this way don't know a single thing about Muslims, don't speak to them, just abuse them. And I think that really is what really grinds my gears.
What do you think about turning down our rhetoric? I know that certain people have said to us, you know, not to us in particular, but just generally the Muslim community, is that, you know, better to hunker down now, not be too visible, and don't provoke the so-called white majority. What do you think of that? I mean, I think there's a danger of, I can understand, you know, at a time when our sisters are being attacked and we're on the verge of riots, I can understand not provoking unnecessarily, you know, but at the same time, I think we have to not let them set our agenda and police our language and we shouldn't be changing our behavior based on the actions and the rhetoric of a Islamophobic and racist minority. And, you know, the fact is that these are even a minority amongst white people in this country. Reform UK and GB News and Talk TV, they probably represent about 20% of the population, you know, that means they don't represent 80% of the population. So when we're talking about this and when we're talking about the flag humpers and the racists and Islamophobes, we're not talking about all white people, obviously, you know. My mum's white, so is your mum, all right? So we're talking about a minority of blatant, radicalized racists and Islamophobes who are on a mission to destroy Muslims. And no matter what you say, you cannot appease them. No matter what logical arguments you have, you cannot appease them. You know, I remember the Imam Adam Kelwick was inviting, was it Tommy Robinson into his mosque to have tea and biscuits? No, Tommy Robinson would go into his mosque and start abusing the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and start abusing Allah Azza wa Jal. You know, that's what he would do. You cannot reason with these people. They're on a mission to destroy us. And I think Muslims have to understand that, while still making overtures to the majority of sane white people who do exist in this country. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't let someone stop you from speaking, especially because if we were to go sort of, like you said, hunker down and just not respond and kind of turn the other cheek or whatever, all that will happen is all of the conspiracies and the nastiness that's being put out there, it will kind of steam. It'll get bigger. Yeah. And
they'll carry on doing what they're doing.
They'll carry on doing what they're doing. But a lot of ignorant people, if they don't hear the other side of the argument, they'll assume that it must be true.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't true, surely the Muslims would speak out, condemn it, or answer back, right? You know, if it's like the whole Labour Party thing, they kept saying they're anti-Semitic, and the leadership was like, oh yeah, sorry about that. We're not really, but you know, we are sorry about that. Then everyone was like, yeah, there must be anti-Semitic things. He's apologising for it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we have to respond, but we have to have everyone's responding their own way. So our intellectuals answer back intellectually. Us here at Five Pillars, we answer back in our way. We're quite direct, I think. You know, people might not like our style, but at the end of the day, to suggest Five Pillars or anyone else at this time go quiet or to take it easy or to take a step back, no, come on.
No, I think
this is a real.
This is a real threat. This is like 1930s Germany. You know, this is literally what I feel it's like. Would anyone have said the Jews should remain silent? I mean, a lot of them did. Look what happened, you know? So I think that we need to, and I've always said, it's not my mission to have a comfortable life in this country. I don't believe Muslims living in non-Muslim countries should expect a comfortable life, you know? And I think we just have to stay on the path of haqq. We have to speak with wisdom and decorum, but we have to unequivocally tell the truth at the same time. And the truth is that this is a racist, Islamophobic movement that is a threat to minorities in this nation. Yeah, just one more thing, Robert, and that is I feel that there's a lack of strategy on behalf of the Muslim community when it comes to countering Reform UK, the rise of Reform UK, and generally the rise of the far right in Britain. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it like we are talking about Gaza. We're not figuring out how to counter them, what to do. It's just not on the agenda at all. And I think we really need to bang our heads together. The only strategy we seem to have is to join your party, which I don't think is a good strategy. But I think we have to have a systematic, you know, we have to have a debate amongst ourselves and come up with strategies on street level, on political level, on every single level, personal, public, to how to counter Reform UK, to prevent them from getting into power in the first place, but also how to counter these right-wing narratives which are all over social media and gaining normalization, as you said, across mainstream media now and seeping into the kind of the national consciousness. What do we do to protect ourselves at street level, public level, political level? How are we going to counter these guys? We're not even talking about it. It's not on the agenda. We need to get onto this.
You did mention your party, which is that new left-wing socialist project headed by Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. That does bring us on to our next topic, so I will introduce it if I may. Yeah, Jeremy Corbyn headed up to Blackburn, an area which we know pretty well from the last general election.
Isn't that a no-go area for Five Pillars, Blackburn?
It might be now.
I think we're going to get attacked by, was it Adnan Hussein supporters and Craig Murray supporters? We'll be lynched. We'll be lynched.
Yeah, they'll blame us, of course, for everything that went wrong there, even though we had nothing to do with it. But yeah, what can I say? So we did go up to Blackburn. We got our I don't know what you want to call him, a mole.
We sent incognito reporter.
Exactly, yeah. So we're actually going to bring on the show. So we're going to totally expose his identity now. But yeah, we were there. We did witness and report on the event. Adnan Hussein, as well as several other pro-Gaza independents, were in attendance, and a pretty good sizable turnout as well. Basically, they were launching the Your Party movement in Blackburn branch. They're galvanizing support ahead of figuring out and officially launching the party. There's some conference that's coming up in the future at the end of this year. They're asking for names because it's not actually called Your Party, but everyone knows it as the Your Party. Just a little taste of the sort of mess that sort of left-wing politics usually is, just sort of badly run and a bit naff. So yeah, eventually they're actually going to change the name of Your Party into something else. Yeah. And they've asked people, what do you want it to be?
The Telegraph wanted it to be Jezbollah.
Yeah, Jezbollah. I actually thought that was a funny one. I might have suggested it myself if I got there first. But yeah, I've been trying to reply to the email, and I couldn't think of a good one to reply to. What should the party be called? So maybe you guys, brothers and sisters, if you can put in the comment section below, what would you suggest? I don't know if they've emailed you, but tell me what you think, and if there's a good one.
I mean, Zara Sultana wants it to be called the Left Party, doesn't she?
Really?
And yeah, that's what she said.
Boring.
I think it should be called. I think it should be called Transform. Transform. Either you get it or you don't. I'm not going to explain.
We identified the yeah, see, I'm not funny. I'm not funny. I can't think of a good one. That was a good one. I just thought of calling it something stupid like I don't know, the Jeremy Corbyn and the Significant Others or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's all about Jeremy Corbyn, right?
The Jeremy Corbyn Appreciation Society.
Something like that. Just him and others. Corbyn's pie and the other lot. But yeah, there you go, brothers and sisters. You tell us what you think in the comment section below. Quite a few people like Jezbollah, to be honest with you, even if its supporters like it. So yeah, they might go with that in the end. But yeah, let's get on to some serious reporting on this.
That wasn't serious.
So our man to introduce onto the show now is our correspondent who actually attended the event, Haris Taghari. Assalamu alaikum, bro. Thank you for coming on the show.
Wa alaikum salam. I think you might have to correct my title. I was an informant rather than a correspondent on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you did go. You were there. I saw your reporting. For anyone who hasn't seen it already, there's a report which you can watch and an article which is a good read just to figure out what's going on. Haris, what did you make of the event?
Well, firstly, there was safety hazards and security risks. So there was like half of the people had to stay outside. They didn't actually get to see Jeremy Corbyn and them guys.
But that was because there were so many people.
I mean,
over 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
Yeah.
There was 0 car parking spaces. But from my observations, the crowd wasn't majority Muslim, which I would have expected because it's Blackburn.
Yeah.
It was actually quite mixed. So I was sitting next to, well, the crowd that I was in was majority non-Muslim. People with like dyed hair, suspected transgender.
Earrings.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't the crowd that I was expecting personally.
Barefooted hipsters and stuff. Okay.
Is this a white party? Is this a white lefty party, basically, with Muslims coming along for the ride as the vote bank?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I suspect it is.
That they chose Blackburn for their first official Your Party conference, whether it's them trying to win over the Muslim vote, as you were mentioning before, but it's very significant that they chose Blackburn out of all places.
Now, obviously, there was a few things you mentioned in your report. Frankly speaking, lots of people showed up. There's a massive membership declaration that's already been made, people signing up before the party's even properly launched, hundreds of thousands of people. So obviously, you know, there is a left-wing vote out there that Corbyn's going to tap into.
Yeah.
From our point of view, is this a project that Muslims should be getting on board with? Are there going to be a lot of problems associated to it? Like, obviously, there's going to be a lot of trans activists, LGBT activists involved in this. You know, are the left just going to take our votes but not represent us? All of these types of questions remain. And in the long-term strategy, is it what's best for Muslims?
Can I just say something before Haris answers?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to say that there is no 5 pillars policy on this. We're just figuring out, I mean, I've kind of made up my mind that it's a bad idea, but I'm not imposing that on everyone else. So what I'm saying, Haris, is I'm not going to judge you on your reply.
Yeah. Just tell us what
I
you
say that
think.
with my fingers crossed.
There's no gun being pointed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, to be honest, look, I don't think we have representation anyway. Of course, we have the independent candidates, the MPs.
Yeah.
But in reality, their only influence is platforming some of the worries and concerns we have into Parliament. Other than that, they don't actually have control. They don't have power. They have very little influence. So I personally believe, like, obviously, your party is not the perfect party for Muslims, as we said, LGBT and other, even just in regards to Zionism. Jeremy Corbyn's lack of clarity when it comes to his own Zionist policies gives us flashback and PTSD from his time at Labour. So it's not perfect. Your party isn't perfect, but it's the only thing we have, personally, in my opinion. I mean, we don't have any other solid foundation to stand on other than gathering all the MPs, the independent candidates. And of course, Jeremy Corbyn is popular. He'll win a lot of votes just from his own popularity. I mean, he was basically, a fallen hero. You can call him a political martyr after Labour. So of course he's got this aura around him. He's a veteran. He's dedicated many years to the cause. It's not as if he's just propped up out of nowhere. The Muslims, of course, now that he's being cautioned in regards to his stance in Zionism, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be of that faction as he was before in the Labour Party.
But didn't we have a strategy? And there wasn't the strategy, which there was a consensus around before the last election, and that it was to elect independent MPs, whether they've been Muslim or non-Muslim. And that was supposed to be the long-term strategy. But my issue is that we seem to have abandoned that strategy around which there was a consensus after 1 year when Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana clicks their fingers. It's like we appear flaky as a community. It's like, we blow with the wind. It seems ridiculous to me.
Do you think maybe the approach was independent candidates because there was no political party? I mean, we couldn't represent ourselves in Labour or the Tory government.
Well, I still think there's no. I mean, it's a good point.
Isn't independent the only route out?
Yeah, it's a good point you made. There was no political party, but I still think there's no political party. Unless we have an Islamic party, there is no political party or political home for us. So I just think we should...
would that Islamic party be popular? Because, of course, we're only 3 million.
I think it wouldn't be...
Muslims in Britain will vote for an Islamic party.
I think it wouldn't be even allowed. Quite frankly, I think it would be banned. I do. I genuinely think it would be banned. I think if we had a genuine Islamic political party in the UK, I think millions of Muslims would vote for it. Yeah, I think it would be hugely popular and potentially...
It's not being wishful thinking to assume that will happen.
Yeah, no, I don't think it will happen. Exactly, I'm assuming it won't happen. But what I'm saying, Horace, is that Jeremy Corbyn is a political failure. He's a leader who's proved in the past that he can't lead. He's also very old, So is he the future of, he's 76 years old, right? Is he the future, is that our strategy, Jeremy Corbyn? And obviously his co-leader is Zara Sultana, who's a figure who's not acceptable to the majority of Muslims. She's very attractive to white lefties, but less attractive to Muslims. And she's going to have a massive say over this party. And I just don't, I just think that, my vision for Islam in this country is to be independent, is to not get involved, not to focus on politics at all, but to build an independent community that can stand on its own feet, that's financially self-sufficient, politically self-sufficient, and lobbies the majority community from that position of power. I think that's where our focus should be. However, I do also believe that we should be using any tool in our arsenal, including electoral politics, as long as we don't compromise our principles. And my fear is if we join your party, and if we stand as candidates for your party, we are going to become like Zara Sultana, because she is a product of the alliance between the Muslim bloc and the left. And you get someone who's supporting abortion. You get someone who's supporting LGBT and trans rights, etc., etc. So I'm not even saying don't vote for your party. I'm just saying don't join them. Don't get too close to them. And let's if we are gonna vote for any of these parties. Let them vote. Let them work for our votes. Do not sell ourselves cheaply, and getting on board. Just as Jeremy Corbyn, who said a few good things about Palestine. Let's insist that they are clearly anti-Zionists. Let's insist that we can voice our views about LGBT and trans openly and not get penalised. Let's insist that they are completely anti-prevent. Let's exert our pound of flesh. Let them work for our votes. Let's not just be a vote bank just because they say a few good things about Islamophobia and Palestine. So I think we should wait and see. I think personally that this Your Party has got about 10% of the vote, which is a considerable amount. But the Green Party also has 10% of the vote. The Lib Dems probably have 15% of the vote. If there was some kind of grand alliance between these parties and independents, then you could potentially keep Reform out. Or you can make sure that they're really weak, If they all agreed, like in the French elections last year, not to stand candidates against each other, then I think there could be a significant block. But that doesn't mean we have to join these parties or campaign for them. Let's just wait and see. There's 4 years to go to the election. Why are we jumping on these bandwagons and making it easy for them to get our votes? And then they take us for granted, because you know very well that this Your Party is going to be a white lefty party, and they're just going to use Muslims as a vote bank. That's what I think. Horace, your reaction?
I 100% agree in regards to they're basically just hedging off the bet that they're going to get the votes because everyone's desperate. There's no other alternative. So that's, we're not voting for them because we believe in them, but majority of people will vote for them because it's the only option, sadly.
What about you, Robert? What do you think?
Yeah, I just think that I agree with basically everything you said, but I just know that there's that view, but then there's how Muslims tend to behave. So for years, most Muslims that are political have voted Labour. Now, the same issues that have existed with the Your Party have existed in Labour. They're not like a religious party by any means. So Muslims have traditionally been willing to work with and vote even for lefty, even pro-gay candidates and parties. Do you know what I mean? Frankly, so Muslims in this country are willing to do it. They have been. But obviously there are many Muslims that don't engage at all. So I'm not saying that all Muslims do this. Many Muslims don't engage in the whole political system at all and think it's haram to even do so. Sit at home and pray. That's a position I admire very much so. But the fact is that politically minded Muslims have always been willing to ignore all of this stuff, all of these issues. So I just predict that there will be a massive Muslim turnout for the Your Party.
Actually, this is where I disagree with you. I think because I've been tracking the feedback on 5 pillars over the last month to this, and we've done several polls, etc., etc. And where I'm at is that I think about 60% of Muslims that will vote at the moment will probably vote for Your Party, and 40% won't. I think we've grown up a little bit. We've been through the lefty experience over the last 20 years. We know that Muslim lefty alliances are not a perfect fit. There's lots of infighting. They take us for granted. It doesn't last very long as well. We've been through the George Galloway experience and all that kind of stuff. So I think that there is a significant minority of Muslims that are not going to be a vote bank for Jeremy Corbyn. Okay, I honestly believe that, and we're at the beginning of this conversation as well. We've got 4 years to go. What is it going to look like after Jeremy Corbyn throws his mates under the bus like he did with Ken Livingstone? After he refuses to say he's an anti-Zionist, Muslims are not going to like that. They're simply not going to like that. So I do not believe they think that they've got the Muslim vote sewn up. That's why they went to Blackburn. Because they thought and a load of non-Muslims turned up instead of Muslims, It was majority non-Muslim. I know it wasn't just Horace I was talking to. It was other people in the audience as well. And they all said they were surprised that not many Muslims turned up, or that it was majority. And all around the country, this is white lefties. So do we really want to be in the back seat as a vote bank with hardly any influence and them throwing us a few crumbs? Because they're atheists. This is going to be an atheist party. Jeremy Corbyn's an atheist. They're not down with our agenda, with our Islamic agenda. What I say is that if they think that they've got a Muslim vote bank here that's automatically going to vote for them, then they are mistaken. Maybe half the community will, but the other half won't. And we're at the beginning of this conversation. And if we are going to vote for them, and I don't even rule that out at the moment. You know, I don't even say don't vote for the Green Party or don't vote for independents or even Lib Dems in certain circumstances. What I'm saying is make these guys work for our votes. Yeah. We should be extracting a pound of flesh from these people because we don't owe them anything.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I totally agree with that. I just imagine, like, with the threat that Reform UK pose to Muslims, I just feel like that would be a very vote-winning argument that your party, even the Labour Party, put to Muslims.
All of them. This is
in a sense of desperation, many Muslims will say, "We've got to vote for your party. We've got to stop Reform UK."
Look, if every Muslim votes for your party, that means reform getting easier. Don't you understand the way electoral politics works? Because they're splitting the left-wing vote, right? And that means that reform has an easier run to number 10. However, if there is a grand alliance of several parties, including your party, Lib Dems, Greens, Independents, and they all agree not to stand candidates against each other in constituencies where they're more likely to win, then that has a chance of keeping out reform, or at least making it a minority government or a slight majority government. But if all Muslims vote for your party, that's the dumbest strategy available, because it means the reform getting easier. Do you understand? Because
I don't think that's not a winning argument for me. The desperation of Muslim voters will be, we need to vote for someone who's going to take on Reform UK. Challenge them in Parliament. Try and
make it easier for them to win.
Labour is the party of genocide. Well, potentially. I can't imagine Muslims saying, okay, let's do nothing.
So let's vote for you.
Reform UK.
No, but I'm giving the solution, and that is a grand alliance of left-wing parties.
But Muslim voters don't have that decision. They can't just say, okay, let's have a grand alliance. They're going to have a set of options.
That's why there needs to be a coordination. That's why there needs to be.
Well, yes, exactly.
That's why there needs to be coordination between these parties, whereby they come to they basically order their voters, you know, not to vote for certain parties or to vote for certain parties in certain constituencies. It needs a level of organisation and coordination.
Yes.
Yeah, but if that doesn't happen, but if our only
still going to want options.
Look, brothers and sisters, I guarantee you, if our only strategy is to vote for your party, all that will do is it will split the left-wing vote, and it would make it easier for Reform to form a government. That's the way our electoral politics works. You know, if you don't know that, you know, educate yourself.
But obviously on a local level, it might be the difference between keeping a Reform UK MP out of your area, for example.
This is a centralised country. It's not a localised country.
It's complicated.
This is a centralised country where Westminster calls the shots.
Yeah.
Local politics is small time.
I get what you're saying, but I just feel like you've basically not given anything to our audience to do apart from not do anything.
I'm just giving them the solution.
No. All right.
No.
But they're not in charge of forming this alliance, right?
No. But
they can choose to
push
vote
for it
or not.
We can push for it. We have a 5 million strong vote bank in this country, and we can start pushing these ideas forward. We've got 4 years to go. Look, I'm giving a lot to our viewers. I'm saying our priority is to remain Muslims and to stand by the rope of Allah. And I believe sincerely that if we get involved with the Green Party or your party too closely, you know, then we become less Muslim because we imbibe their liberal ideas. So that's my first offer to the Muslim audience, okay? My second offer is to be pragmatic, and that is, do not sell yourself cheaply to anybody. If you're gonna vote for anybody, extract your pound of flesh, make them work for our vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my third offer is that solution of a grand alliance of left-wing parties, which ultimately is our only way of keeping Reform out. I'm giving you all the answers here. I'm giving you literally all the answers here on a plate, brothers and sisters. All you got to do is just follow my orders.
Haris, is there anything else you want to add about the event? Because obviously, you know, you were there. You spoke to Adnan Hussein.
Yeah.
What I noticed, which I was a bit miffed about, and I wasn't even there, was that Jeremy Corbyn's talking about how he wants the party to be inclusive, give everyone a chance to have their say, we'll vote on everything, it's going to be very democratic. He didn't even bother to stay for a quick Q&A afterwards. He said his little piece, and then
they didn't want to take questions, did they?
Quite frankly, you managed to just catch Adnan Hussein, who was still trying to leave as you were speaking to him.
Adnan Hussein clearly didn't want to talk to you. That was like under duress. Did you have a gun to his head or something?
Supposed to be there. So, one of the security guards recognized me. He was like, "Yo, Harris."
Right.
I was like, "Can I slide past?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." That's the only way I could get that down the thing. They were strictly no questions.
Really?
But why was there? I mean, I understand that there was written questions beforehand or QR code questions. Why were there no live questions?
Yeah, but they didn't even do that though.
No questions
Why?
at all. He just said his piece and left.
I think their excuse, to be honest, their excuse was we have to go. But
No, that's not an excuse.
Adnan said he has to go, and then 40 minutes later, I found him like near the cars.
What's your hunch? What's your hunch,
Hanging
Harris?
about outside.
Come on, Harris. Let's stop sitting on the fence. What's your hunch? Why did they refuse to answer questions?
Oh, of course. I mean, Corbyn's been in the crossfires recently because he refused to clarify his stance on Zionism, and then of course they don't want. Obviously, this is their first event. They don't want the heat. Not yet, at least. So yeah, they were being cautious. They were being very.
And why do you think he?
Yeah, just going off Robert's question of how did the event feel. It was, for want of a better word, it was just a Jeremy Corbyn cult. Every 3 sentences, the crowd was saying, "Oh, Jeremy Corbyn," and even some of their independent candidates were also chanting, "Oh, Jeremy."
Brothers and sisters.
And then Adnan Hussein then later said, "This isn't about the individual." Well, actually, the whole event was about the individual.
This is a cult of personality, man.
So yeah, we're going along the fact that Jeremy Corbyn's a popular.
Our only role model, brothers and sisters, is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is not Jeremy Corbyn. I frankly find this cult of personality around Jeremy Corbyn, and that's what it is. It's a cult of personality. Okay, I find it nauseating.
And Muslims,
the reason why he refused to answer the "Am I an anti-Zionist?" question, to her credit, Zara Sultana clearly said that, is because he is not an anti-Zionist. That's my hunch. He believes in the two-state solution. He believes in Israel's so-called right to exist. The fact is that there are soft Zionist elements within Jeremy Corbyn. That is the truth, brothers and sisters. You know, what is the definition of Zionism? The definition of Zionism is the belief that the Jews have a right to a homeland in historic Palestine. And Jeremy Corbyn believes that to a certain extent. He just wishes that Israel would treat the Palestinians as equal citizens and a bit better. You know, so that's why he won't answer the question, because he has Zionist elements in him. And I am happy to be proven wrong. If he comes out and says, "I'm anti-Zionist," clearly, I will take it all back. I will wear, I don't know, what do you want me to do? What dare do you want me to do?
You'd have to eat those plastic plants next to you, I suppose.
I'll eat a plastic plant.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll wear an LGBT t-shirt, but no, I'm not going to go that far.
Oh my gosh.
Astaghfirullah. Cut that out, Robert.
Tell us what you want him to do, brothers and sisters, because who knows, that might actually push Corbyn over the edge. He might go, yeah, I will say it now.
All right, fine. I'll take that dare. As long as it's halal, I'll take that dare. If Jeremy Corbyn comes out clearly and says he's an anti-Zionist, then as long as it's halal, you guys tell me what I have to do.
I don't think self-humiliation is halal, to be honest. I think you're allowed to do that.
All right.
Harm yourself.
All right,
yeah,
Harris.
what can I say?
Anything else, Harris?
Yeah, great reporting, and inshallah we'll see you again on the show.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. As-salama.
What's next, Robert?
So, yeah, I think we've spoken about that plenty. We've got another political story to get through real quick. It's the Green Party this time.
Yeah.
Another party which is trying to make some serious breakthroughs on the left. A Muslim councillor from Leeds, Mothin Ali, who's known as the hero of Hare Hills for his past work confronting rioters and helping some unrest that occurred in 2024, a rising star in the Green Party, has won election to become the new co-deputy leader of the party, and he now serves underneath Zach Polanski, who is the leader of the party now. So there's been a leadership election. We've now got Zach as the leader, Mothin Ali as deputy leader, and Rachel Millward as co-deputy leader as well. Now, Mothin, of course, it's been celebrated widely, a Muslim getting to a senior position of leadership within one of the mainstream parties in England and Wales.
I wasn't celebrating, but anyway, maybe you were.
It's hard to get Roshan to celebrate anything. But yeah, a lot of people were celebrating. However, I have to say, we reported on his victory speech, and he's expressed some views which are, what's the word, very problematic, let's say, from an Islamic point of view. Let's play it out now and see what he had to say.
I think first of all, we're going to thank Harriet and all the staff who worked so tirelessly to get this campaign to where it is. I hope that I can live up to that trust that you've honoured me. We're getting a little bit more serious. Right now, politics in this country is at a precipice. There's a huge rise of the far right, minority communities, whether it be Muslims, whether it be immigrants, whether it be LGBT community, whether it be trans community, regardless of which minority you're from, we are being targeted, and our fight is one, and we've got to come together and make sure that we're ready together to challenge reform and the rise of the far right.
So basically, yeah, the other minorities, including the LGBT movement, the trans movement, and all the agenda that surrounds it, they're one with us, with the Muslim community and our struggles.
He's
what do you
making,
make of that?
He's making exactly the point that I made a few moments ago. If you join them, you become like them. That's why I advocate a hands-off approach to any political party in this country. Obviously, what he says there is completely un-Islamic. But yeah, if you join them, you become like them.
Yeah, Mothin is obviously someone who we've reported on quite a lot, actually, since he's come onto the scene. And yeah, I think that, frankly, I've spoken to him a few times. I think he was a good person, to be honest with you. And he's clearly a religious Muslim. He knows Islam very, very well. You know, this is someone who prays and goes to Jummah prayers and all that type of stuff there. Dresses Muslim, very, very strong on the Palestine stuff, very anti-Zionist. So ticking all the boxes, except on this one issue. And obviously it's because he's in the Green Party. There has been attempts made to take him down, if you like, from trans activists and lobby groups within the Green movement. This is something I know. He's faced that challenge. Just because he's a Muslim, they kind of know, you know, because obviously being Muslim, it comes with the package, right? You have views which a religion teaches you about same-gender relationships, and the trans agenda is just completely un-Islamic. So naturally, all the trans activists were like, oh, this Muslim guy's coming in, we need to take him down. But in response to that, it seems as if Mothin is basically, he's compromised here.
He's caved in.
And it's not good, and I think it's done a bit of damage.
You can't
to all of
compromise your
his other good work.
Islam. Nothing ever good comes out of compromising your Islam.
Yeah, so it's
and it's a choice. You know, he doesn't have to do that. You know, he doesn't have to be a member of the Green Party or stand for deputy leadership. You know, I think safeguard your dunya and your akhirah. Yeah, that should be first.
So yeah, tell us what you think, brothers and sisters, in the comment section. Obviously, he has done a lot of good for the Palestinian cause, but on this issue, you know, this is an Islamic red line issue here. So I think obviously we have to, you know, remind people of that. You know, we don't want to get ourselves into positions where people are doing takfir on us.
We don't make alliances with Qawm Lut. Simple as that.
Yeah, so there you go. That's that's a pretty quick story. We actually have an article written by yourself. It's about your time in Turkey. Here we are. So you've just come back from another fancy holiday, the latest in a string of holidays which you've taken this year, I've found. But it was at least to another Muslim country. That I'll give you credit for. You went to the Sofya Grand Masjid, which, alhamdulillah, we've reconverted back into a mosque, so Muslims can pray there. However, there are issues with it that you've written about.
And I think I'm reiterating what you said a few years ago, because I know you've been there as well.
It's a rip-off of my reporting.
Yeah,
definitely.
no, I agree. No, it's just I agree with what you said. I mean, look, I recall at the time, I was actually against it being reconverted to a masjid. I just thought it was unnecessary, and that it was kind of President Erdogan grandstanding, and it was, you know, it's typical Erdogan. You know, instead of attacking Israel, he converts Sofya into a mosque. You know, it's just PR. You know, however, over the years, my position softened simply because Muslims were like, oh, this is one of the greatest buildings in the world, and it's a masjid, and you know, people are praising Allah there 24/7, and you know, so my opinion softened. So I was actually really looking forward to praying in there and praising Allah and just looking at the building again, because the last time I went there was a museum. I was just so disappointed. As soon as you walk in, it's like it's a free-for-all. It's like it's party time, and non-Muslims are in there in the main prayer hall. You know, Muslims, scantily clad secular Turks as well, you know, barely observing hijab, arms showing, legs showing, you know, selfies galore. I spent my time, I mean, prayer is not on the agenda, you know, and you spend your time trying to avoid getting in people's group photos. And it's really, really off-putting, and I just think they're just desecrating the mosque. You know, if it's going to be a mosque, let it be a mosque, which means, you know, you kind of, I mean, they did clear out the people when Dhuhr was about to start, and they cleared them out, all the tourists and whatever, and then it became a mosque again for a period of time, and then after a period of time it became a tourist attraction again. And I just think, let it be, if you're going to make it into a mosque, let it be a mosque, which means strict dress codes, strict rules for non-Muslims, strict entry times for non-Muslims. I think non-Muslims should still be allowed there, but, you know, strict entry times when they're not bothering everyone else, and let it be a mosque. And if that means that the Turkish state gets a bit less revenue from tourism, then so be it. But what they've done now is kind of a half house between a tourist attraction and a mosque, and it pleases nobody, quite frankly. And I do think that the masjid is being desecrated.
Yeah, I think you probably had a similar experience to me then, because yeah, I just found when I went it was a real shame, because yeah, you was expecting this, you know,
spiritual experience,
spiritual Islamic experience, and yeah, it was ruined to a certain extent. Plus, I found that the like security staff, the authorities that were governing the mosque, they were actually being a bit harsher to the Muslims that were coming and visiting the place. And actually the non-Muslims, they were kind of like giving them that, oh, you know, just let them off, kind of easy kind of thing. And I mean, even like I was wearing the Arab shawl on my shoulders. They came over and I was like, what's that? Tell us what that's all about.
Oh,
is it a political symbol or something? They were worried I was some white guy bringing in some flag
some jihadi or something. Yeah.
I don't even know, because obviously I didn't look Muslim, but I don't know. They just didn't even know what it was. So it was a bit weird for me. And anyway, they were having a go at my family a little bit as well, my Arab family from my wife, and, you know, just giving us a hard time, really. But then there were like people sneaking in like Christian saint statues and, you know, getting them out and doing a little prayer or whatever. And I was like, are you like, what? Suddenly your camera's turned off or something? Do you know what I mean? And there were people going in, like you said, scantily clad, and, you know, it's just like, are you going to police this? Why are you bothering us for? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, just minor things like that, I think just ruin the experience.
And they have this weird thing as well, is that they allow Turkish Muslim women into the main prayer area, but foreign Muslim women have to go into the women's area, and they can't go anywhere else. So they're restricted from visiting the masjid. And I mean, either you put all the women in one area, which I have no issue with, or you let them all visit the main prayer area. But you can't discriminate between Turkish Muslims and non-Turkish Muslims. I mean,
that does seem a bit strange. But
anyway.
yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, it's a beautiful building, and obviously, I guess it's better than no Grand Masjid. So
you know, I just you know, Turkey and Istanbul has the potential to be you know, the greatest Muslim city in the world, you know. Sorry, obviously Makkah and Medina will always be the greatest, but you know what I mean. In terms of the population and the power, and, you know, some amazing masajids, some of the most beautiful masajids in the world. That position on the Bosphorus Sea is an incredible natural harbour, and it's just a spectacular city in every single way. But it's spoiled by the secular Turks, and may Allah bring Islam back to Turkey, and may it become, you know, a leader of the Muslim world once again.
Inshallah. Well, we have one more story to discuss. Of course, Israel's ongoing genocide carries on. Israel has actually expanded its aggression once again and is attacking Syria. It's attacking Yemen. It launched a major attack, killing some senior political leaders in Yemen. And of course, has advanced very close to Damascus. I think they're like
10 kilometers away.
Yeah, they're like 15 minutes away from the capital, Damascus. And nothing seems to be stopping Israel. They just have free reign to do what they want in the region. And they're lashing out more so, killing more people, and possibly looking to do their Greater Israel project. It seems like a very serious plan they've got on the table. So yeah, obviously, there's a lot to react. Do you have anything you want to say in specific?
I mean, you can talk about Yemen. I think you're more qualified to talk about Yemen. On Syria, I talked to Bilal Abdul Karim. He did an opinion piece for us today, actually. And he was just saying, look, you know, what Israel is doing in Syria is brazen. They are brazenly violating Syrian sovereign territory day after day. They're coming in there, they're launching their raids, they're arresting people inside Syria. They've got their little proxy Druze militia in the south as well. They're doing whatever they want in the south of Syria. And Ahmed al-Shara, Jolani, and the government ain't showing them nothing. You know, what do you do if someone comes into your house, all right, with a baseball bat and you show them nothing, you know, in terms of like, you know, a bit of self-defense? What are they going to do? They're going to come back and they're going to take over more of your house, and then they're going to take your wife and your kids, do you know, etc. And at the moment, Syria is showing no force whatsoever to Israel, and that is just emboldening them. So unless Syria is down with being part of Great Israel, they better start showing Israel something. That's what I'm going to say.
It's true, because obviously the Palestinians, you know, the Israelis came from Europe. They weren't Israeli, they were Europeans. And they settled in and they showed them a bit of kindness or whatever. And then what happened? They ended up stealing everything. It looks like Israel's going to end up being stolen as well, because, yeah, you just can't be kind to these people. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the only thing that I will say is you see these two Arab countries now, the one that's gone with, we're not going to fight back, we're just going to hope that
we're going to do diplomacy
and diplomacy will work out. And you've got Yemen, which ain't bothering with diplomacy. They're just attacking.
They're fighting back. Yeah.
Now, you've got these two. They're both economically in bad situations. They're both deprived. They're both being attacked. They're both being oppressed. You can argue either way, but at the end of the day, at least Yemen has some respect about it.
Yeah.
At least people are saying, no one's accusing Yemen of being part of some Zionist project for the region.
There's Izza in Yemen.
Do you know what I mean? And Yemenis, for right or wrong, at least their focus is clearly on the next life. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they have to die for the moral right and for jihad, they're going to do it. But Syria is like talking big, but they're not really doing it right now.
I mean, the argument is in Syria is that they've just been through a civil war, a 15-year civil war.
So
the population needs...
so is Yemen.
Yeah, I'm just giving devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
The population needs a breather.
So does Yemen.
Now,
so does
But
Gaza.
what I say to that, even if you accept that argument, all right, let's for you know, argument's sake, let's accept that argument. Israel doesn't think like that. Israel's not giving them a breather.
Yes.
So whether they want a breather or not, Israel's not going to give them a breather.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So it's a stupid argument to make.
It is, yeah. That's a very good point. Tell us what you think, brothers and sisters. I know Syria, people get really emotional about Syria for obvious reasons. Like you say, lengthy conflict, a lot of issues from the past that still resonate. But yeah, what Israel's doing, how can they be allowed to just get away with it? There won't be any Syria left. It'll be Greater Israel soon, and then we won't even have nowhere to visit. Everyone's visiting Damascus these days going, alhamdulillah, we're free, we're free. Oh, well, what, are you going to visit Damascus when it's under bloody Israeli occupation like you do in Jerusalem? Oh, well, if you enjoy that, then fair enough. But, well, there you go. But I think we've reached the end of our show. There's sometimes things that we get chucked in. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap up? It's been a good show.
We probably missed a few things. But
I think we've offended most people in this episode on the left and right. No one's going to be happy with us. But we're back, brothers and sisters. We're back causing a stink. We're back upsetting everyone.
We are going to do this show consistently now, because we had a bit of a break in August with a bit of traveling and a bit of a rest. But we're back with force, and we'll be here every week offending everybody.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, that's what we do best. Yeah, well, what can you say? I think there's a saying, right? If you're going out there to make friends and to get people to like you, you're going to be disappointed. That's just a fact. You can't.
Well, I've got no friends.
If you're, that's it. If your aim is to not please anyone and to make everyone upset, then you will get 100% success rate if you want to. Do you know what I mean? It's easier to upset everyone than to please some. Do you know what I mean?
They say if you have no enemies, that means you stand for nothing. I don't know who said that. I'll claim it. But that's the better one, I think. If you have zero enemies,
but you shouldn't
that
have
means you're nobody.
But enemies. Enemies with the entire population everywhere. But anyway, there you go, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. And if you can, support 5 Pillars in any way, shape, or form. We need it, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Masalam for now.